say hello. In case you don't know who we are Bandursnatch Studios. We're here all weekend doing some panels for you. This is our first one. We're doing a sort of makeup workshop panel thing. So if you have anything specific that you want to ask questions about, please do. Or if there's anything that you want to ask questions about that we're doing, ask as we go along. Yeah. It's going to be as interactive as we can make it.
Because we don't know how to do it any other way.
Otherwise, the things, unless anyone has requests, we're going to be going through some crossplay makeup. We're going to go over some like basics of just like simple like base layer stuff to make your photos look a little bit better, and then we're going to go into some body paint stuff.
Yay! Okay, so we'll start at the beginning. This is my makeup case.
You do not require this.
You do not require this amount of makeup. You will end up with this amount of makeup. And basically, what you want to do is, if you're wearing cosplay, wear something on your face as well, especially if you're getting photos taken, because there's nothing worse than if you spend ages making a beautiful costume, or you bought or commissioned a stunning costume, someone takes a picture of you and
your face is a shiny mess.
Your face is a shiny mess.
Which is not there.
Which is not a comment on anyone's face. It's just, unless you've got at least a bit of powder on,
your
photos don't look great.
Excrete grease and nasty. So you want to powder that down so that it's not just like beautiful costume, beautiful costume, beautiful reflective face mess. So first thing you should do before putting on anything is clean your whole situation. So be that with a makeup wipe or a face wash or however you're going to do that. Do that.
This is a move that we did earlier.
We've already done that step, but this is what a face wipe looks like. You all seem to be decent individuals, so I'm sure that you've seen them in the wild before.
All the brands are available.
Brands are available. No, they're not.
No, we have a corporate gig here, guys.
I'm going to take my teeth out.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored. When I'm looking for my teeth later, they're in my pocket.
Okay.
Then I would recommend using a moisturiser, because especially if you're going to a long weekend convention and you're going to be wearing stuff on your face every day, chances are you don't wear a lot on your face every day. So you're wanting to kind of like preemptively say sorry to your skin. So that
your skin will thank you.
It will thank you.
If you take care of it.
It will stop you having that like late Sunday night like acne breakout, which is always good.
Face masks as well.
Yes.
Face masks.
But pop some of that on. If you already have kind of oily skin, go for something which doesn't have oils in it. Brands like Simple tend to be really good if you're just wanting something cheap, cheerful, but like not bad for your skin. So I would do that. And then if you're going really heavy on your makeup, you'll want this fun stuff called primer. It's not necessary for like all stuff if you're literally all you're doing is putting on a really, really light powder over stuff because you don't feel comfortable wearing a lot of makeup or you're not confident in doing that. You're not going to need a primer. But if you're intending on going to a very warm convention and wearing a lot of face for the majority of the day, I would really, really recommend
also
it.
body paint.
Also if you're wearing body paint.
Also if you're wearing body paint, put primer on first. People will thank you and you don't, you know, give
Transfer off on everyone.
Quite so badly, yeah. So we use NYX a lot. It's a drugstore brand that you can now get in the UK, which is brilliant.
A lot of Boots sell it.
Boots, most big like Boots will sell it, and I swear by this stuff. It's great. It like makes it look like basically poreless once you've put it on, which is always good. If you are a big pory mess like myself.
If you're wanting to go a little bit more upmarket, the Benefit one's really good.
Yeah, and MAC's really good. I like MAC.
Which is another tier up in the expenses line.
So basically, we're going to talk the stuff that you want to spend money on is your foundation, because a good foundation will match your skin tone, and anything after that, like if you're building a house, you'd want to make sure that the foundations. That was not a good analogy. Like basically, the stuff that you're putting everything on top of, that's the thing you want to be the strongest, the highest quality.
Because if that starts shifting about, then everything you've put on top is just going to be, your eyebrows are going to be down at your cheekbones. That's not a good bottom.
That's not what you want. So pop a little bit of this boy on. Have you got?
I have not.
You've still got stuff on your nose as well.
Do I?
Yeah. So we're actually going to show you this step. See.
I applied my makeup this morning and did not think about the fact that they were going to be using my face for science. So.
Do you want to take the wig off while we're doing this as well?
Maybe.
So I always find it easier to put on makeup once I've already put on my wig cap, because one, I don't know how other folk put on their wig caps, but I tend to pull it right down and then pull it back up. Can you imagine doing that if you just spent an hour doing your face? That would be a bad time. So it will also keep your hair out of the way, as most of the people present seem to have some amount of hair on their heads, which could get all up in your business.
I mean, like, even mine's not very long, but it's enough in the front that it's going to get in the way when you're trying to do stuff.
Good luck.
It's an excellent look, I'll have you very much.
And it's only going to get better as the weekend goes on.
Yep.
It's gonna get better when we
It's
both
almost
finish
like
the
I didn't
face.
bother washing it this morning after last night because I knew I was going to do a wig all day.
Until now.
Until now. So yeah, this stuff's really, really simple. You just put it on like you would put on moisturizer. You can just put it on with your hands. Some people, if you're feeling super extra, you can go in with your beauty blender and have your best life. But you can just use your hands. So I'll let you do that yourself, seeing as I'm sure you're capable.
I don't know, it's a big assumption you're making there.
Yeah.
You don't need very much generally with this stuff.
So
like,
as you can see, you use like sort of size of a pea. You're kind of wanting to put it everywhere essentially.
everywhere you're going to put makeup on over
yeah.
the top.
So like, I've done mine all the way down to my chest because that's obviously where all the makeup's going.
Not all of them will be green. This one's got a bit of colour correction. So if you have...
Because green is the opposite of red. If you
So
put
if-
green over the top of your redness, it'll tone it down a little bit.
Ta-da!
I'm learning.
Science! Look, it's so educational.
Do you like to use you get different eyelid primers and lip
Oh no,
primers?
I ain't that
Do you
good.
just one tube
I
everything?
have one tube. 'Cause I don't
Sometimes
use-
if I'm doing a lot of eyeshadow, I'll use a concealer on my eyelids so that the powder eyeshadow will stick to it a
use,
bit
like,
better.
A white crayon, like NYX crayon, basically to put under my eyeshadow so it like proper pops. if I'm
I just
really
put this
bright.
everywhere. Let me slide my way through it. And I'm like, I'm ready.
I'm going to apologise to Luke in advance because my face can sense makeup coming and breaks out before comms, so apologies for that.
You haven't seen what's going on under here. So, next you're going to want to put on your foundation. And thankfully we're almost-ish of a similar colour. So this is going to be fun. So, this is probably, with the exception of like full eyeshadow palettes that we own, is probably the most expensive thing that we have in the entire box. And that is our foundation. And the best thing to do is go into somewhere that sells foundation and go, I would like foundation, please help me.
Make sure you choose the shop assistant that doesn't look orange, though.
Yes. Find the pastiest person out there and go, you.
This is one of those situations where they are paid for this, they know what they're talking about. Make use of the lovely people in stores.
They also don't care what you look like when you go in. Like, you don't need to go in with a full face. They're not going to look at you weird if you're a guy being like, I'd like some foundation, please. Like, they get that.
Yeah.
It's cool. They're just like, yeah, this is my job. It's like scanning stuff through at Tesco. They're not really looking at you, and they're not too fussed. So go in, and usually, if I was to go in, I would go into MAC, because that's the one that I use. You use Kat Von D. We all use slightly
I use
different
Benefit.
brands. You use Benefit, and it just depends on what works for you. There's no, this is the best brand to use, unless it's NYX. But they don't do foundation that's pale enough for Scottish people. So for that, we go to MAC. And basically, they'll go in and they'll ask you what you want to wear it for. And I always just say, I'm using it for photography. Because at the end of the day, we're using it for videos and we're using it for photography. So I'm like, I need something that's, what you want to say is, I want full coverage. Now, what do we want to say? We want full coverage. That's basically all you need to say, really, is you want something that is going to make you look like a beautiful anime boy. And they don't have pores or imperfections, and they don't age, and they don't die. So you're wanting something with a really full coverage. And I personally prefer to start with a liquid foundation. You can get just straight up powders, but
Or
if you're wanting
cream ones.
or cream,
Yeah.
Cream
but
works basically the same way as liquid.
but I just find this is a little bit easier to use if you're kind of getting started, and then I never bothered to kind of change to anything else because it worked. And I always mix my foundations on the top of my next palette, which is beautiful and clean.
I use it
Nice
back on my
knowing you,
hand.
Yeah.
It's cool. I cleaned it before I used it this morning, so it's only got my
It's a
face
bit
on.
easier to control how much you're using if you squirt it out onto like something else rather than just like onto your brush or
I
your
just use it back on
sponge.
my hand.
Sweetness, can you get me my
use
beauty
that
blender
though.
out my bag?
Yes.
Mirror foundation there is my technical
Yeah,
thing.
so you don't need a heck of a lot. This is like a, we're gonna do 2 layers of this stuff. We're gonna look real smooth by the time this is done. And then I prefer to use a sponge. You can use brushes, but
It's foundation brush, but I tend to use body paint with foundation brush. I can't use a beauty blender with it, but I use my foundation with beauty blender. Whatever works for you.
so it's a sponge. You've been to Boots or Superdrug before. You've seen one of these. You basically tap it in, and then you proceed to punch yourself in the face with it. So pop a couple of dots on, and then blending, and you just kind of tap it in and around. Little circular motions.
If you've got a foundation that's quite heavy on your face, if you use a sponge but you soak it in water and squeeze it out first, then that shears it down a little bit. If you use it dry,
That's
then it
quitter
goes on.
talk.
If you use it dry, then it goes on a lot thicker.
How often do you recommend washing a sponge?
Ask Alison.
Okay, I'm going to be the good girl version of this and tell you all what you should do is wash it after every time you use it. What I do is I wash it every week because I wear makeup to work every day and I don't want to wash it like all the time.
I only
Use with it.
I only use makeup for cons generally, so I tend to wash it after a con, or like just before the next one, before I'm due to use it again.
I wash my brushes. Who says I don't?
I have the bad version.
Good way to wash like makeup utensils in general is to use like hand soap. Like from your bathroom, just soak that into the brush dry and then
Or
rinse
shampoo.
it out. See, I prefer hand soap because it's got like antibac in it.
Yeah, I use every Tuesday. I do a new makeup video, and I only have about 5 or 6 brushes, so it's the same brushes that I'm using every single time. So I'm washing mine literally 3 or 4 times a week, depending on how many videos I'm doing. And antibacterial hand soap is like I found the best way
And
to
it's got
get
both
it.
sides of your nose.
Yay!
Thumbs up to whoever got the reference.
So that's what I tend to do is just anti-bacs them with the hand soap and just keep circling them round
That's actually
on your hand
Yeah.
until it
like
becomes
little-
the colour that you bought it as.
If it's cheaper than benefit, please.
It's only about the same
So
price.
that was, you saw the amount I put on. That's me done Sarah's full face, and that's how much I've got left. So you don't need a whole ton of it. So now I'm just gonna mash that all
Make
over
sure
there.
you blend into your neck because otherwise you end up with a chin strap.
Yeah, we've all seen back in high school.
We've all been there.
Speak for yourself. And then, because it's a liquid, you want to set. So this is kind of, this works for if you're doing body paint as well. If you're doing body paint, we've all seen those people running around, usually in grey.
It's okay, you can say home.
Homestuck. We've all seen Homestuck.
Well, hang on a second. Let's stick some.
And they have a habit of not sealing their body paint. So what you want to do is make sure that you any liquid that you're putting on your body.
Sorry, Blair.
Where am I going?
You're following Mel.
Come here.
Why is Sarah getting away again?
I don't know, because she was coming over here, so I was assuming I was getting moved instead.
Is you want to use a powder to set your whole situation. Because then, if you brush up against someone, you ain't gonna transfer.
You're gonna want to use a powder that's either the same colour as the stuff you've just put on you, or translucent. You can buy translucent setting powders. Sometimes we just use baby powder.
Most of the time we just use baby powder. Baby powder will make the colour ever so slightly lighter though.
Yeah. Also, don't breathe it, it's carcinogenic.
Good advice.
Okay, so it's a powder foundation.
Do you want the baby powder for it if you've not got?
I've got white. Does the
not
same
there
thing.
initially.
Fair enough.
So essentially this is gonna... You can breathe this stuff though. Well, you probably shouldn't, but it's not carcinogenic.
Don't huff it.
Breathe it in.
Coat your lungs.
So the same kind of principle applies with body paint in that you essentially put it on the same way you would your foundation. I tend to obviously put it on a relatively thick layer if I'm doing Mystique or if I'm doing green like today. I like Mayron body paint because it stays better than Sazaru for me.
Mayron Paradise Paint.
Yes.
Go buy it.
Yes.
It goes on a lot thicker than
And it's not by next!
Snazaru.
Aren't you all surprised?
Hashtag not sponsored.
But Mayron is
We should be
water-based
so
as well,
lucky.
so it will come off more easily than you've got a lot of oil-based paints, which people will tend to use more for maybe art if you want to be blue all weekend. I, however, quite often go to a con on Saturday and have to go back to work on Monday in an office. And to wash off.
Later, dear.
Gross.
What's also good about setting with a powder is if you don't dust off the excess, it makes it so much easier to blend if you're going to contour your face. Now, contouring is something that you need to do if you're doing a coloured body paint, because essentially if you put on a coloured body paint,
Then you are just a big circle of that colour.
and you no longer have depth. So you're not going to need to do as much if you're doing a really young character, but if you're trying to look the age you either already are or you're supposed to be.
Like, the only character we have that we don't contour is when I do Kurt and Nightcrawler from the teenage version of X-Men Evolution. Because I don't want to have strong lines, I want to be a babby face. Everyone else, contouring.
This is my favourite bit.
You can either buy yourself some contour, like purpose-made powders or creams.
That you can't see through the thing. So basically, this is a set, and you'll buy a set, and you'll probably use
One or two colours.
yeah, or what I used to use and still kind of swear by for certain costumes.
Eyeshadow.
Is eyeshadow, and it was the Boots Naturals, and it was nutmeg, and that kind of did me the first 3 years of cosplaying.
What you
Was just
want
this
is
one
you
brown
want a
powder.
greyish brown that's like not terribly dark on your skin.
You know, NYX now do double-ended contouring pens with a dark end and a light end.
Yeah.
Like
Which
every
I
8 weeks.
swear by. The one in the hotel room. I use the NYX doubles for like almost everything like contour related, and of course they come in different shades as well. So I normally have to go for the medium tan because
You've actually got a
not
pulse.
yeah.
Slightly more tan than the rest of us pasty lads.
Look,
But
you can't see my
you do-
organs, it's fine.
Shut up.
But they also do universal, which if you can't quite figure out where you are on like their line, just go for the universal one and just be like, well, this is either too light or too dark or blah blah blah, and you'll work it out that way from there.
So this is the part where it gets kind of fun, because how you're going to do the next part depends on whether you're doing a masculine style face or a feminine style face. Because you're going to do them slightly differently, because you're basically, what you're doing is you're playing around with the shadows, and that's going to change where it looks like your bone structure is. Because men and women theoretically have slightly different bone structures, so you're going to go, ha ha, man face, or ha ha, woman face, as needs necessary.
You do have to shout that.
Please don't, you're going to confuse a lot of cosplay. Which is exactly what we want. So for really pasty individuals such as ourselves,
Not mentioning any names.
not mentioning any names, not me. So, I use, as you can possibly tell from the fact that this is basically hip pan at this point, I use the lightest blush. So this is very, very pigmented, so I literally just tap. And if I am doing man face,
You want to find where your cheekbone is, and
I
either...
do not start with the cheekbones. You
Do you?
start where you can blend it the way the most to make sure that you remember how much powder your brush takes. So I always start with the temples.
Start with less, you can always build up. It's harder to take it back off, Bethan. Call out.
Post for Bethan. And then the next bit I do is my jaw. So I will take it down, just underneath the jaw. And I also will do just up here.
I'm going to do a little L so you've got a jawline drawn in.
You're not blending anything out yet, so you're just going to look splotchy for a little bit.
The basic thing to remember for like generalities is guys are square, girls are round.
Rule of thumb.
Don't you love some proper problematic stuff? It's good to have a kind of angled brush. You can just use a kind of kabuki brush and like pinch the end of it, which will kind of make it a little bit more angled for you. Or you can use like a contouring brush.
And for reference, you do not need the stupidly expensive brushes that you find some places.
Oh no, go on Amazon, get yourself a brush set for like a tenner.
Yeah, like don't go for the £2 for 20 packs because they will last one use maybe. But you don't have to get the 50 quid ones either.
You can tell mine's been used for blue a lot. I have a set especially for body paint, and I have a set for normal. Otherwise, you
Really
will get
good advice.
Otherwise, you will mix them. Also, they get kept in a really crappy plastic bag because it's going to get paint everywhere.
So, for man, I will also try and square off the bottom of the chin
Drawing a butt chin.
and contour a little bit here, a little kind of sad face underneath, because that kind of makes it look like you've got more of a chin. And a little bit here, a little bit here. And then depending on the character, usually if they're supposed to look like small and angelic, or they're sweet characters, I'll also do just under the tip of my nose because it makes your nose like kind of a little bit upturned, so it looks like, oh, cute nose. Whereas if you're doing like, I don't know,
Dean Winchester?
Dean Winchester or Nick from Left 4 Dead, you're probably not going to go, oh, cute nose.
Then you want to go like down the sides of your nose. For like a masculine character, you want to go a little bit wider than the bridge of your nose, so it makes your nose look a bit wider. For feminine ones, you want to go a little bit in, so it looks narrower.
You're going to turn to the side. So you can turn to that side. So can you see, like if I'll do feminine style on the other side, I would do closer up, whereas this one I do further down. So if you're doing a larger nosed character like Snape, then it gets gradually further and further and further down to just being on my face. And then if you're doing bulky blokes, you also want to make the brow line seem more pronounced. So you add a little bit in around here as well. So when we blend that out, it's going to give you more of a shadow under the brow bone, which is going to make you look, I can't think of the word, but like, we're kind of smoldery man smolder.
Guys tend to have like
A more pronounced brow,
more
your
pronounced
eyebrows will be a
brow.
little bit lower down. If you have particularly high up eyebrows like I do, I cover mine and draw them on again underneath.
It's really funny when she takes it off and it's like dual wielding eyebrows. Okay, and now for my favourite bit, cheekbones. Which is going to be fun because your face shape is decidedly different from mine.
Yep. In that you actually have cheekbones.
Yes! It makes up for a lack of personality.
If you've got a little bit of a rounder face, you start your cheekbones quite wide, just like in front of your ears, and do a little bit in, and blend downwards towards your face, and like up into your cheeks.
Okay, so this is where one of the main differences from doing like a feminine face to doing a masculine face. So you're kind of wanting to, again, make your face look really angular. So you're going to kind of go basically on top of your cheekbones. And then that's going to make you look like you kind of got Benedict Cumberbatch face. You're like, it is all bone structure. Whereas if you're doing a feminine character, you're wanting to make your face look rounder. So you're going to do that lower down. So we're going to go. Watch me trying to find out where your cheekbones are.
I have no cheekbone, which is not useful for this.
Can you do
If you fish face, then it's a bit easier to see.
There we go. So now you can see.
I've danced since I was 5. I'm used to this.
So
You can see, but the camera can't.
camera can. There we go.
Hey.
For all of you later. And for just now, you can sort of see where you're putting the shadows in. And then you get, usually I'll use the brush that I set my face with, because it'll usually still have a bit of powder on it, which makes blending, again, easier. And then just kind of tap it in and around. Little circles. Don't go in too hard, because if you go in too hard, you'll remove the foundation. And if you remove the foundation, you'll just have like red splotches where your contour should be. That's not what you want.
A good tip for how your contour you want to work is you're going to have like a line where it meets, where you're drawing on a sort of like curve, because that's how contour works. You're going to have a light bit, and then it's going to flip into dark. You want to blend away from the light bit, so that you've got that sort of contrast where it like flips round.
Sorry, my life out.
Nice tape.
Yeah, I know, right? So as you can see, like the jawline is more pronounced now than it is on the uncontoured side. Ta-da! Light and dark, science! Light and dark, science! Don't forget to do the bit under your chin, because sometimes I'll leave for work and I'm like, oh, I didn't do that. So make sure you get that so you don't just have like a little frowny face under your lip.
A tiny, tiny soul patch.
Tiny, tiny. If you're doing older guys as well, it sometimes is good to like highlight just like around the nostrils. I don't know why that works, but it does.
Yeah.
You're doing like nasty old men.
Generally, if you're doing older characters, like draw on your contour a little bit heavier, draw on some like wrinkles where
Like,
you
if
naturally
you kind
have
of
wrinkles,
frown
like
and you
draw on
already
like your
have-
smile lines, draw in like between your brows.
It's not a good look when you have to do it though, and you're like, oh no. Now I'm just
I can see my future!
Harkering back to me doing Jean Valjean and going, oh no, I'm old! Oh, so old.
Okay, for cheekbones, there's 2 ways you can do this. So you can either look, and one was going to make you look like you have got amazing bone structure. The other one's going to make you look like you've got amazing bone structure, but you've also not eaten in a month. So depending on who you're doing, anyone, and then like Loki. If you're doing Loki, go down, because it'll hollow out your face, whereas if you're not wanting to look starved, go up.
If you're doing Bellatrix, you go down as well.
Yeah.
If you want to look like you have nice high cheeks and like a well lifted face, lift up. If you're wanting like a really sallow, like gaunt looking, like go down to hollow out this bit.
The same principle applies with body paint, but I just use coloured eyeshadow. So I use that one for my highlight. I use whatever colour is close enough to the colour I'm using anyway as a base. And then I use like a dark version. And you might have to go through a few eyeshadows, but these are literally like a couple of quid each from Amazon or somewhere. And I do the same principle for contour.
So for women face, I would not do the temple. I would not do under the jaw, because you're trying to keep that soft. I would not do the rest of the butt. I would usually do the upturn of the nose, but it's going to look weird if I try and do like half of like a nose tip, so we're not gonna. But I would, this will be fun. I would do up here, or really close to the top on this one. and not do underneath. So see if you turn this way, that's a lot higher because you're trying to make the bridge look slimmer.
Be careful you don't go too high.
We've all seen bad drag queens, don't do it. And we're gonna, whereas you see, you've kind of got almost starting from like the top of the ear and kind of coming down. On this one, we're gonna be starting more like here.
Just the sort of hollow of your cheek. Remember when you made the fish face?
Fish face.
Just like above your jaw.
So if you turn, can you see where that is in a completely different place? Completely different place. Completely different place.
I'm getting worried about the next snap here. Was just sitting there going, have I annoyed Luke lately?
It is
You're about to find out.
So.
Yeah, I was going to say something else. It's being character.
Don't know what you're talking
But
about.
I need to go and find the gold.
And then blend up.
Little circles.
I think possibly the exception for the jawline is if you're doing face paint, because you would look like
You
a
still
potato
need to do
otherwise.
a jaw.
Yeah, you
But
want
don't
some
do
shadow.
your L, you just do a little curve.
All I've done is just literally, because I tend to do my jaw anyway, because I have a real double chin syndrome. So I tend to do my jaw anyway if I know his pictures. I do it all under my jaw, I do a cheekbones, I do a proper highlight as well, because again you just need to put shape back into your face because you've got nothing there. You literally come out looking like a Smurf. Or a green thing.
Or a green thing.
A green
So,
thing.
lady face,
Swamp monster.
man face. Lady face, man face. Dead zero.
You need me for panels.
I do. And we love you dearly.
After the panel.
After the panels. So that is your basic, now I have skin and bones. You are halfway to being a human. The next bit is eyebrows. They're fun. Basically, you're going to want... I love eyebrows.
The cry that goes around the Bander household when we're doing stuff, getting ready for contest. Often,
Oh no, I did the first one good!
Sisters, not twins, is the awesome follow-up.
Mine are adopted most of the time.
Cousins.
It basically means don't worry if your eyebrows don't match exactly, it's fine.
Chances are, as soon as you put your wig on, you're not going to see. So, for eyebrows, oh, I've mixed all of the eye stuff and the lip stuff together. That was good, Luke. Thank you. So glad we
Thank
could-
you, Paz Luke.
Thank you.
There's a few different things you can do for eyebrows. You can use brow pencils, you can use brow wax, that are like specific brow products, or you can just use eyeshadow.
What I use is, because I've got really quite dark, coarse eyebrows, because I have dark, coarse hair. Not that you know. If I'm doing, say, a blonde character, I will use a liquid lipstick in a nude to cover my brow to start with. So I use the stuff that I put at the bottom of this. I use this guy. And it's just a kind of like taupey coloured thing, and I'll put it on a little skinny brush, and I will cover the brow in the shape that I want to do it in. And then I will use like a sort of light brown, or like a kind of taupe, or even like a really sort of pale creamy yellow to like set that, because obviously basically rule of thumb, anytime you're using a liquid, unless it is literally like a lipstick, then seal it with something, because it will last much longer and you won't sweat it off as quickly. As quickly being the thing. And you can do that for strange coloured eyebrows as well. So you can use white, or you can use that one you were already holding, Luke.
Purple.
Or you can use shiny gold. Or you can, like, there are so many weird and wonderful colours of liquid lips out, and most companies are making them eye safe now, which means you can use them for eyeliner, you can use them for eyebrows, you can...
Do whatever you want with them.
Yeah.
The world is your
I mean, you
lobster.
can eat them, but it's probably not the best. For natural eyebrow colours, though,
Bandursnatch recommends not eating your makeup.
Bandursnatch does not endorse eating your makeup.
Unless it's a
Oh,
lip
I
scrub.
did have a brown eyebrow pencil that worked.
Tragic.
Look at that. You get eyebrow pencils, and they're a good place to start because they've usually got a little spoolie friend on the end, which is not that end, but this end. And basically what you want to do with this is you can like direct your brows so they're all going the one way, because you don't think, my brows are all going entirely different directions, unless you are as obsessed with eyebrows as myself, which most people are not. So you can kind of tame them into going somewhere in a
Vague shape that you want to go for.
and then you can use the brow pencil to start mapping out where you want them to go. Usually for male characters you're wanting to keep, like, you don't want a high arch unless you're going for like some intense anime, like Ferret or something. You're like, I am an evil villain! But if you say you're wanting to just be like Dean Winchester from like that thing that he's in, Supernatural, or if you're doing what are other manly characters? I don't do them. So
Barry Blue Jeans.
Barry Blue Jeans from the Adventure Zone, or
Nick from Left 4 Dead.
Nick from Left 4 Dead that we've already used as a thing. Can you tell that we do Camp Men a lot? Whatever Jeannie said.
Sirius is not masculine, please.
Or like if I was doing like even doing Snape, even though he's like, like I would still do a kind of lower brow just because he's a grumpy character. So drawing your frown on ahead of time means that you don't need to emote when you're doing a panel. So yeah, we'll probably, it's not going to be, oh no, do I have something that might actually work for Sarah?
For blonde, I usually, instead of using a brow pencil...
Do you want to do Sarah's brow then?
Yeah, sure.
Then I can go stand somewhere else.
I always have to have some kind of brow at all because I am so naturally pale that the second you put foundation on, you can't see my eyebrows.
Blonde is difficult to do. You can buy blonde eyebrow pencils, but what I do is I use the same colour that I contour with, just more of it. And that's what I've got on today. I use like a thin angle brush and just go in.
I even do a very light brown for Narcissa Black, who is, you know, white milkmaid blonde is the colour of the wig.
Which is rather blonde if you're not familiar with Coscraft wig colours.
I'm just kind of going over Sarah's brows because you've got a nice shape.
And I'll ruin it with a manly brow in a minute.
Give her a brunette manly brow.
I like to
It's
start with like
Prince
the
Eric number.
outside of the eyebrows and then work my way in. Because if you make the inside too dark, you just look really angry. But it doesn't matter so much if you make the outside darker.
Works for angry characters though.
Which I'm like, that's how I do mine in the morning, which is probably like...
You also work in retail.
I also work
It's
in
allowed.
retail, so potato.
Yeah, that's brows. They're on there.
Did you do both?
I did. Do you want
Okay. If you're doing a man brow, you basically go down.
Brows for men.
Brows
Yeah.
for men.
Yeah.
Brows that you can wear if you're punching a shark. Brows that you can change a tie. And other manly things that men do.
Yeah.
It's just going to be all up in your situation. I'm like, down that deep dark corner. He's like, I hear glass shark in the audience. So basically, as you can see, a little bit darker, because it's manly. Manly to have brows. Dark brooding brows. And you're basically wanting less of a shape. So you're kind of taking the curve out of your brow. So where you kind of have like that sort of almost natural lift, you basically just go, nope.
Flat brows.
Flat brows.
Straight across.
For manly,
Just a
shark
bit
punching
plain.
men.
What did sharks ever do to you?
They killed his mother.
Please don't say that, my mum's on holiday.
I'm sorry.
In the Caribbean. See, if you've killed Mama, I'm going to be real mad.
I'm gonna wonder what sort of powers I've got.
Your back.
See, for body paint as well, I find that if I use like normal like pencils or anything like that, because it's obviously got a point to it, and you're basically cutting
It'll
through all the
carve
makeup.
through your body paint.
I used to do that, and then I was like, this isn't working. So what I basically just use is I just get a black, or generally just a darker colour. Like you can get a dark blue, like I've used a dark blue.
Or you can use like liquid eyeliners.
Yeah,
They work
anything
quite well.
liquid, and basically use that and a small brush and just do it that way. But
Another
also,
way to... Oh, sorry, I'll let you
the
finish.
nice thing as well, because I'm terrible at doing brows, is that if I mess up my brow when I've got body paint on, just get a little bit of the other colour and just kind of correct it.
Just cover.
Cover it
Conceal.
all up, it's fine.
Hide the sin.
You can do that on a normal face as well if you've got a concealer that matches your skin tone and just like fill in the negative space around it.
Where's the thing that I'm looking for?
That's how I've started fixing my underlining. When I do colourful underlining, is I put it on stupidly thick and then cover it up with foundation until it's a nice line.
So to also make your brow glowing like prettier, if you're doing lady characters, or just really fabulous men. Little
So
bit of
all of your
highlighter.
characters, you mean?
I'm wearing so much of this right now. See me in the sun, it's like, ha ha. I have come.
What kind of Twilight?
It's just
No, we all went to make the same joke.
is a little bit of highlighter just on the top of that brow bone, because it'll make it look more like defined. Lifted. It's like that one bit in like the female face makeup that you want to put the angles into. Let's actually see how you look. Oh look, it's almost like we know what we're doing. Manly face, lady face. Manly face, lady face. Punching a shark, having tea with the shark. So you've got that. One of the main things that we always say is, if you're doing manly face, don't put on eyeliner. Unless you're doing Jack Sparrow.
Or Dorian.
Or Dorian. But for the most part, well, Dorian wasn't, that game wasn't out when we started doing this panel because we're old. But basically, you're not wanting to do anything that really makes your eyes look bigger. So you're going to avoid, unless you're doing really young characters, wearing basically anything on your eyes.
Or unless you're doing an anime boy.
Unless you're doing an anime boy, and then
Who
just,
have the massive eyes that are half their face.
and then just go in with that like mascara. Don't go for your full like wing tipped. Like Haru from Free doesn't have cat eye eyeliner. Repeat after me. Haru doesn't have cat eye eyeliner. No, he doesn't. Please don't do it. Thank you. That has been your PSA. I'm not going to put mascara on it because a fun thing is you're just not supposed to like use each other's mascara or eyeliner. Eyeliner were a little bit less.
Eyeliner, as long as you're not putting it in your waterline,
Yeah.
it's okay.
But you probably shouldn't in case your friend has like nasty eye diseases. I don't, but you might, and I don't want them. So, that and my mascara is black, which will look intense on very blonde Sarah. But I would put mascara on the lady shark tea face and not on the shark killing face.
If you are
Saying
being
that,
very blonde
I
and soft,
have to.
you want a brown mascara
Yeah.
rather than a black one.
I have to put mascara on because I am so freaking blonde. Thank you, Father. So when I'm doing a masculine face, the difference is I do is when I'm putting on the mascara, I will put it on normally and then I will brush it down over the top so that I don't have the flare. So that I've got the colour, but I don't have the big girl anime eyes, but I've still got some actual colour to my
And you
lashes.
probably won't use Benefit Roller Lash to do it.
No. But yes, I always use brown unless I'm going for the dramatic effect because otherwise it is a contrast and a half on my face.
Same with, for the most part, like we're using really broad strokes here. For the most part, you're not going to be going in with a lot of eyeshadow on male characters either, unless that's
They happen to wear eyeshadow.
Or you're not going to go in with probably lipstick on male characters, unless they wear lipstick.
The only
whereas
time
on
that you'll be
female-
going in with lipstick is if it's a nude one that matches your face to take the red out of your lips.
Or it's somebody like Dean Winchester who
Ridiculous anime girl, Luke.
he does.
He's a freaking Disney princess, is what he is. I wear lipstick for Dean.
You wear bright pink glittery lip gloss to get Jensen Ackles.
It looks wrong without it. I don't look like Dean without that lipstick on.
Again, broad strokes.
Adapt for your character.
Whereas for a female character, you're probably going to want to put along a little something something.
Even if it's just a nice shiny lipstick in the colour that your lips are.
Yeah. which I don't think I have, because I'm like, gold or nothing!
Yeah, I think all my like natural ones are away. That's close enough. Just a lip gloss rather than a lipstick.
Gabby sharing lipsticks as well with people like consoles.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
this is-
generally, don't share your makeup.
Unless you want all the diseases your friends have. We share everything in Bandursnatch. So yeah, a little bit of lip, a little bit less lip, a little bit of lip, a little bit less lip. Ta-da! Do we have any questions so far, children? Who is the strange man who's been talking to me for the last 45 minutes? Mostly. And that's kind of the super basics of it. I'm not going to go in and be like, this is how you apply eyeshadow, because we could do that for the rest of the day. And that's what people on YouTube are for.
Yeah, that is the main piece of advice we can give you, actually. Watch YouTube tutorials.
Yeah, watch YouTube tutorials. There's literally thousands of them out there. There's good ones, there's bad ones, there's mediocre ones, there's ones that will like fit your face shape. If you can find someone who looks a little bit like you doing it, chances are it'll be easier for you to copy. Because they'll have a similar face shape, so where they're putting their colour lights and darks will be similar to where you would. But practice and learn your face. Just sit in your house and put on your face.
There is a question from the greasy man.
How do I be less
I'm
greasy?
being nice and asking you questions. How do you remove body paint, Mel?
Oh.
Mel showers.
I just shower it off.
If it's
to be
water
honest.
based, a shower's probably
Yeah.
your easiest bet.
Basically, that's why I like the water-based ones, because they will come off in the shower. It's just literally, I just scrub myself twice and then it's usually off. Apart from in my ears, it's usually the only place it lingers. But also, when you're, another thing to say as well about body paint is, so you set with the powder, set with the spray as well.
You can buy makeup setting spray. If you're feeling really jank and you don't care about life, you can use hairspray.
Again, don't breathe in.
Hold your breath for the entire time.
Because,
That's what I do.
because this is alcohol based, it basically just seals it in better.
If you're wearing contacts, it's probably not a good idea. It's not a good
Mine
idea
is
to
alcohol
use
based, I'm like,
hairspray.
yes.
Yeah, as Debbie says, if you are wearing contacts, it's not a good idea to use hairspray in general. Also,
So,
with body
setting
paint or with makeup in general, I have to wear contacts to be able to see. I have eyes that leak a lot. I put my contacts in before I put makeup on. But if you've got, say, contacts that are white out, you put them in after you've done your makeup.
So you
That's
can see
the only
your
time
face.
that I put my contacts in after I've done my face. Because generally what you want to do is contacts, makeup, and then when you're taking it off, take contacts out first, then take your makeup off so you're not rubbing a bunch of makeup with the makeup wipe into your eyes.
'Cause that's bad, children. Don't do that.
That's
It
bad.
hurts.
The only time that I'll put my contacts in after I've done my makeup is I do a couple of characters where I have like blind mesh whiteout contacts, so I can't really see after I've put them in. And doing your makeup when you're a bit blind is difficult.
I mean, it depends what look you're going for here.
I have done it before, it's not a good look.
So with this one, obviously, in terms of, it'll come off with a makeup wipe just about.
So that's the side that's like unsealed.
That's unsealed.
Completely.
So this side, I can do that too, and I'm not going to, well, I have got a little bit because it's still kind
It's
of
still
wet.
wet.
We'll try that again in a couple of minutes, guys. Any other questions from the audience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the tutorials I found about contouring are about accentuating your cheekbones and
Yeah.
getting the very like blue steel kind of look. But there's a character I want to do who has a really round, heart-shaped face, and I already have really prominent cheekbones, and I want to tone them down.
What you want to do is you want to contour a bit lower down, so can you make a fish face for me? Instead of contouring up here at the top of your fish face, contour at the bottom of it.
Okay.
And then like highlight a little bit under your cheekbone, and that'll move your cheekbones down a little bit.
With science!
You do have like the world's purple supply of cheekbone. That's
Yeah.
why I didn't get any, because you took all mine.
Me and Benedict on the back.
Yeah.
Ruining it for the rest of us.
Leave my face trouble then. He's just going words from cheekbone.
He stole them, added them to his own. So yeah, that is the very kind of basics of face. When you're taking your makeup off at the end of the day, at the end of the con, between uses, wash it all off, take a makeup wipe. If you've got like a face wash, I would recommend using that as well, just to catch anything that you might have left on there, because sometimes you'll do one sober and you'll be like, that's all off, and then you'll do a face wash and you're like, oh no, more came off, because there's always more makeup to come off.
That's
And then just scream moisturise me until someone hands you moisturiser.
Yeah.
Never sleep in it.
Because again,
Generally
be kind to your face and it will be kind to you.
Don't sleep in your makeup for two reasons. The first is your face will hate it. The second is your bedding will hate it.
Especially if you're in a hotel room.
Don't sleep in body paint.
Like,
Especially
don't
if you're in
get
a
me
hotel
wrong,
room.
there are some kind of body paints that you can. They are
Yes.
designed for this. They are oil-based rather than water-based. And when they are on, they will not come off unless you have the remover. So if you're doing, for example, a 3-day LARP, where you don't want to have to reapply your makeup every morning in a tent with no mirror, you will use the oil-based ones and you will just be green for the weekend until
Oh,
you
I-
get home and have the remover.
I know somebody that does Darth Talon, is it, with the red?
Yeah.
And basically does the whole of their body, paints the whole of their body on like the first day in like the proper oil-based paint, so they can shower and everything in it. And they do their face in Mayron, so that basically they can wash their face and get it all off the face, but the rest of the body is not going to move, so all they have to reapply each day is just the face, which is really clever. But then I always wonder about when they have to go back to work on the Monday morning, and I go, oh no, I can't do that. I've also used bodysuits as well, like morph suits.
If
So
there's
I've-
an option to not paint yourself, don't
Yeah.
paint yourself.
Body paint, don't try to body paint your hands if it's water based. That's a bad time.
Don't try to
That's what
body paint
gloves
your
are for,
hands.
children.
Full stop.
If it's alcohol based, you can get away with it.
You
Right.
can, you can, but should you?
If you haven't used the bit of the hand that you're touching
Okay.
people with, Bethan, so you're okay.
So essentially, this is sealed again now, so I can do that, and it ain't going to come off.
That's how that experiment was supposed to go the first
Yeah,
time.
but then it came off because the
Wait
the
for your stuff
alcohol
to
was
dry.
from there.
Yeah. Wait for it to dry.
That's another thing.
Shoot.
When you're putting face on, give yourself a minute.
Wait for it to dry between layers if you're putting on liquids.
Like, that is the only real downside to using, like, liquid-based stuff, is that they need a second. So, get yourself a coffee, get yourself a bit of food, and
Put
just
on some weeb tunes in the background.
set yourself down and just, like, take your time with it, because you'll enjoy it so much more if you're not, like, stressing out as you do it. Same with most things. But take a deep breath, go with it. Sometimes as well, your makeup looks weird until you put your wig on. I get that really badly with this one because I just look bizarre with my hair and this face, because I paint myself a lot paler because I'm a dead vampire child, as opposed to like my usual colour, which is, if I remember to pack it, which hopefully I did because I need to wear it this weekend, which doesn't look darker until I show you it on skin, and then you're like, by comparison, that's a living person. That's not. So you need to make sure that, like, don't panic when you're not fully in costume and it's starting to look a bit bizarre. Because chances are it's just because you haven't got it all together. And as soon as it's all together, you're like, oh, now I look like the kind of lunatic that I was supposed to.
Very briefly in the last couple of minutes, if you want to do anything extra, like for example our lovely dragon girl here, if you can see her lovely little detailing scales that she's got sort of around her cheek, around her forehead and stuff, very simple way to do that, you take a wig net, you put it over your face,
Preferably not one that you want to use afterwards.
yep, and then you just paint over the top of that, and then when you peel it off carefully, you end up with the gaps where the netting
The only
was,
thing,
and
it
it gives you
looks like
this
scales.
scale effect.
the only thing I would say is that generally a foundation brush won't work for it because it will pull
Oh
the net
yeah,
in the
you
wrong
need to use a
direction.
sponge for that.
Soft sponge, just dab it on. It's
Or
fine.
you can use a powder.
Yeah.
And we will say it's amazing what you can make prosthetics from. That's faux leather.
I couldn't get the silicone was going to take 7 days to dry, and I
Left
just
it
said
away.
We had like 3.
So yeah, it's just I prosade onto the face first, and then put the makeup on afterwards.
Prosade. It will stick anything to anything, mainly your face. depending on how much of it you use, it can stick very big things to your face. Don't. But it could, if you
We've
wanted
seen
to.
someone run a makeup panel where they demonstrated Prozaid by Prozaiding a full bottle of Copperberg to someone's face.
Because
We're not going to recreate that one.
No, we're not. It's not going with my aesthetic today, so I'm going to give that a pass. But basically it comes with this, and you get a little bottle of remover, and it's basically takes it off and cleans it up. It's an actual prosthetics glue, so it's medical grade, which means that it will last the full day. It will stick stuff down.
Don't try to peel it off.
If
Use
you
the
can,
remover.
You can
get
peel it
that
off if you
thing.
don't like the tiny little hairs that attach to your skin.
That's a good shout. If you're gluing anything to your face and you are just planning to like peel away, if you're just using like a little bit of spirit gum or you're just using like latex to stick stuff on, shave before you do that.
Like, everybody's face has hair on it. That's the thing, because we're human.
Yeah.
And all of our bodies
I just
have hair
realised
on
that I
it.
didn't bring any remover.
I've got alcohol wipes.
I was going to say, you're going to have a fun night tonight, Deb's being the one that gets the film off.
And boys, because you will have coarser hair than most girls, if you're cross-playing, shave.
Yeah.
Nice close shave so you don't have little hairs sticking out for your pretty foundation.
Dimitri just rubs his face, he's like, yes.
No, I think I've missed like 4 hairs. Because every so often I go like, dang it.
But yeah, that is basically us, unless anyone has any last minute questions. Hello!
Hello!
Sorry, you might have already covered this one.
No worries.
What's a good idea? Sorry, words, use them. What's the good brand to use for body paint? Because I've made a jacket and I don't want
Mayron
to
Paradise Paint.
Good. Okay, I
Yes.
don't want to ruin what
To be fair, it depends on your person. Alison uses Snazru.
Do you have
Snazru is fine with
pigmentation to
Alison.
your skin at all?
A little.
Then probably go for that. Go for Mira.
Snazru is great if you're incredibly pale,
Yes.
because it'll go over that and it's very cheap. Otherwise, you want something a bit darker. Yeah.
If you're doing stuff and you can only afford snaz, then you can set with a coloured powder or like a coloured eyeshadow. Because I used to do Metaton, I couldn't bring myself to spend the amount of money it was to use the
Not
proper
that much
Mayron
more, though. It's about
for
£8
for the
that.
amount
Yeah.
of my face I had to cover with liquid silver, and it comes in like jars that size. I was like, So what I did was I had silver snaz, which basically just goes on grey, but I had a metallic eyeshadow, and I set that. I used that for my setting, which made it like a mirror finish. So you can combo stuff up. Try things out, because that's how you find out. You're like, oh, that worked, or oh, I'll bring that up in a tutorial because that did not.
It kind of was how
Pre-test your makeup.
Yeah.
We had a question.
What's the best makeup for really pale skin? Because all I can find that matches mine is Daily Doll.
The one that we guys wear is
Okay.
MAC.
You wear.
I wear Kat Von D day to day. There's also the L'Oreal Infallible, which is a bit cheaper. You can get that in quite pale shades. Like
It depends on if you're kind of a sort of
A warm
yellowy
tone
pale or
or
a
a-
kind of pinky pale.
yeah, it's easier to get yellow toned pale things.
Yeah.
I am pink toned and very pale, so
The best thing to do is go in to like your local Frasers or whatever your Debenhams and books and say, I'm looking to get a foundation match. And
Or if you're
go to a
going
couple
round
of them,
the
see which
counters
one
and
you like
testing
best.
yourself, like test on your neck rather than on your arm, because that's going to be a different colour.
Some brands as well now do mix it yourself. I think I saw one in Boots called Obsession when I was looking for something else yesterday, and they have a little row of bottles that go from white up to like chocolate
dark.
brown, and then you buy them and you mix them until it's the colour you want.
It's another option, yeah. But yeah, MAC, Kat Von D, L'Oreal.
There's a costume I want to do coming up, and they're like full on white. I was wondering what kind of colour would you do to like contour that? Because I tried like a
I
grey.
would go with a grey.
Pale grey.
I would go with a really pale grey.
Just do your best to shear it down as much as you can.
And again,
I've got,
I tend to use eyeshadows because for me it's easier to contour with powder.
I have a Harley cosplay, and while I don't go full face white with that one because I don't go that level, I do have a very white face powder that I get to get the paleness going, and for that one I contour with grey.
Also, try if you're sealing it, seal with talcum powder.
Yeah.
Just crap tons of
Like,
it.
you can contour with weird colours. I've got a Jack Frost and I contour with blue and silver because I'm supposed to look like a frost boy. So you can sort of experiment with your colours
you
for
shan't
character.
speak.
I feel like this is just today. So just recently I actually did skull makeup and I had to make sure that my face was like white. So what I have bought is the clown white makeup from Snazaroo, and it's still water based, but it is like thick
Pancake makeup.
like pancake makeup in like a little tub, and honestly just like layer by layer, because I'm considerably dark, so needed a few layers to say the least, but certainly for yourself you're far paler than me, so you probably won't need as much, but it is a lot thicker and it does go on much better than like a water, like complete just
Like
water
cake.
based.
Right. It's cream.
Yeah,
rather than a
proper
cake.
like creamy cake rather than just like water. So that would be a good suggestion if you are wanting to be as
We are
a ghost.
very much out of time. So
Yeah.
If anyone has any other questions, we
Feel free to
will.
come up and chat.
Yeah, we will wait outside. Thank you all.